What's going on, y'all? Shawn here. So I came across an article today that was covering a study, a relatively new study that has found that humanity is nearing its life expectancy limits. Now, some of the way that the article was written, um, it's kind of confusing a little bit because I'm not sure if they're talking about really if they're talking about humanity or if they're talking about people in the United States. But anyhow, I'll link to it in um, the description so that you can read it for yourself. But anyhow, a researcher from University of Illinois at Chicago named Jay Olshansky, I'm pronouncing that right. He said we have to recognize there's a limit. We may need to reconsider when we retire and how much money we'll need after retirement. A few other points rather, that I picked up from this article say the U.S. is not in the top 40 for as far as longest living populations in the world. Okay, the U.S. is not in the top 40 for longest living populations in the world. Apparently, and I believe this is a worldwide statistics. It's a worldwide statistic. Sorry for the plural. Life expectancy was improving about 2.5 years per decade back in the 90s. In the 2010s, life expectancy improvements were slowing down. They went from 2.5 years a decade to 1.5 years a decade. However, specifically with the United States, um, life expectancy improvement was negligible. So there was no real improvement in life expectancy to really take note of. Okay. And a quote from the same researcher guy, he said that we're squeezing less and less life out of these life extending technologies. Different things that we've done, I'm sure it has to do with, um, medications and various medical tools and whatnot. Um, but he's saying we're squeezing less and less life out of these life extending technologies. And the reason is aging gets in the way. Okay. And another person, a gerontologist named Eileen Crimmins from the University of Southern California, she talked about a dismal and declining trend in life expectancy in the United States of America as compared to other countries. And then finally, the last, well, I'll save that. All right. So I just kind of want to talk about this article. Like I said, they're talking about humanity reaching life expectancy limits, but it seems like the article is more so talking about life expectancy in the United States rather than in humanity. Okay. So first thought I had is of course there's a limit to life expectancy. Of course there is. So based on the things that I've read over the years, science suggests that the human body has a capacity to live, up to 120 years, somewhere around there. And that's something that a lot of people who work in like the area of longevity and lifespan extension, that's something that a lot of people are working on to see if that can be extended. But of course, there is a ultimate limit to life expectancy. But again, I think what they're trying to talk about here is the fact that life expectancy in the United States doesn't seem to be really increasing. But think about this: life expectancy, taking the world as a whole, apparently is still increasing. It's just that the United States ain't really doing well in this. Okay. Now, let's stop there for a second. Why is it that a country as rich, prosperous as ours is not in the top 40 in regard to life expectancy, despite all the trillions of dollars we spend on healthcare? As I've said in previous videos, we spend more money on healthcare than the entire size of many countries' whole economies. We spend that over that in healthcare alone, but yet we're not in the top 40 for life expectancy. Like, what does that mean? Um, why is it that life expectancy improvements in our country are negligible, while even though it's slowed down worldwide, it's still kind of increasing, but we're not really seeing an increase here, apparently, according to this article. Okay. Why is that? Again, I recently did a post where I was talking about, like, obviously it's something about our system that doesn't work. It doesn't really work for health. It doesn't, and like as they say, the proof is in the pudding, the proof is in the numbers. Okay. Um the last line of this article said, so while aging gracefully may still be possible, living forever not so much. Again, I mean, it's a given that life isn't forever, at least not, on this side. I am a believer, in God, and I believe that there is a hereafter, you know. As far as like the capacity for the human body, again, we know there's a limit. We know that there's a limit. But my biggest issue is, how is it that the United States is in this place, and why is this not a bigger deal? Now, granted, I do know of people like Walter Longo, Peter Attia, um, what's the other person's name? Um, it's someone. I see him in my head, but I can't remember. Um, uh, his name will come to me, but I see him in my mind right now. But just various people are working on seeing what can be done, to extend life, and especially more so from a natural standpoint, um, to some degree. But anyhow, as a whole, we kind of seem to be okay with this stuff. It is no secret that the American way of living is toxic. People, a lot of people will come here from other countries, and their health goes way downhill, especially if they adopt all of the dietary practices that we have and the lifestyle habits that we have of being very sedentary, of never going outside, not drinking enough water, of being ultra busy, ultra stressed out, of having weak relationships, being lone rangers and all this kind of stuff. If they adopt that stuff, then they get our results. So really, all the only reason I really wanted to talk about this is because I wanted to help you to understand this is not cool. This is really an emergency of sorts. This is not. This doesn't make sense with all of the money that we spend. However, the thing I always want you to understand is the whole reason why I still make videos. The thing I always want you to come away understanding is that you're the one who's in control. Now, if you follow like the general guidelines and the bare minimums, and you just kind of like live life, and you just kind of take what's readily available, the fast food, or the processed foods with vitamins added in, like that's gonna make up for it. All of these different kind of things, rather than, you know, doing the natural things that you're responsible for, you can expect the same results. Now, it is a little bit more difficult because, like, literally, our society is inundated with health decreasing options. So, like, literally, every day we're bombarded with this stuff, such that we've kind of accepted this as a way of life, especially because of the fact that these foods are addictive, or the TV shows that we spend hours watching every day, or the phones that we swipe every day. These things are addictive. And so we just kind of keep on kicking the can. But my point is, this is a problem when the United States is not seeing life expectancy increases that are notable. Okay. Another thing I wanted to say that's kind of beside the point, but the guy was saying we may need to reconsider when we retire and how much money we'll need after retirement. Um, retirement. So it's cool, but the reason why I even mentioned that is because perhaps even that could be part of an issue. One of the things in our society is we are taught to, you know, think I get a job, I'll work for about 40 years, and then I'll leave. I spend all my best time there, and then I'll cut that off, and then I'll just kind of like not do anything else for the rest of my life except for maybe play golf and stuff like that. But the thing is, if you ever do any research, having a sense of purpose, not saying you got to do the same job, but having some sort of sense of purpose is something that kind of keeps you going. That is a big part of longevity and just even quality of life too. It's a big, big part. Part of the reason that we end up have a lot of issues is because we've been taught to like Like I said, give our best years to the job while we're not taking care of ourselves, kind of going along with like the status quo, wear ourselves out, retire, and then health, which is already decreasing over our years of working, goes way down after that because like now we don't even have an aim in life. So anyhow, just want to spark some thoughts and everything, you know. Um it's obvious to me why life expectancy doesn't really increase as much here in the United States, but it's very sad. Okay. But remember, it's up to you to do the things that you need to do for your health. It's up to you. Don't settle for bare minimum recommendations that systems and stuff give you. Don't settle for just being addicted to food and addicted to phones and all these kind of things that distract you from your health and cause you to abuse your health on a daily basis. Take responsibility for it. It's the only way you're really going to get the most out of life. It's the only way that you're really going to like be preventative. It's the only way that you're really going to live a quality, healthy life and have the body that you want. Hopefully, this helps somebody. As we get older, it becomes increasingly important to maintain and build muscle. Muscle helps you burn fat, stay mobile, and can contribute to longevity. However, many people have no idea how to work out to build muscle. My mini workout series on Patreon provides you with my body weight mini workout video library. These workouts use little to no equipment, which means that you can do them in the privacy of your own home. They start at beginner level and progress from there to ensure you continue to see results. Every workout is a full body workout, hitting chest, back, legs, and glutes, as well as other muscles in between. Become a patron today and receive access to my series of mini workouts, plus access to a digital copy of my book, 8 Weeks to Transform Your Diet and Your Health. By combining the workouts with healthy diet changes, as outlined in my book, you'll definitely be on your way to weight loss, improved health, and visible results. Join me at patreon.com/Shawn B2B Fitness today. If you like this content, you might also be interested in one of my books. Learn how you can take steps literally today to successfully manage, control, and overcome common issues such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and belly fat. It's all about putting power back in your hands to improve your own health. Get your book copy today by the links in the description or by visiting ShawnMcClennan.com/books. Also, don't forget, hit the like button and subscribe and join my email list at ShawnMcClendon.com/subscribe.